Hi, it's me, Kimberly. So as you guys saw in my last video, I made this tag, and the person that I made it for, I'm also going to cover a composition book for her as well. And so I wanted to kind of match it with this tag. So I'm going to use the same paper pad that I used the paper for this tag. And this paper pad is from the Paper Studio, and it's Kirby Teasdale, and it's just called Kirby Teasdale Studio. And I did get it at, I believe, Michael's, right? The Paper Studio is Michael's. And I never pay this price for the paper pads. I always get them when they're 50% off. When they have their brand. I believe their brand is the Paper Studio, if I'm correct. I'm not an expert on all of this, but that's what I believe. So I would have paid half of this, which would have been $7.50. So the first page I pull out is going to be this one. This is the one that I used for my tag. So I'm definitely going to use that one. I think I may use this one because that coordinates well. I have some scrap left over. From the tag itself. I think I had more, but no, this is probably it. Okay, so, and this is the composition book. I'll put this aside because I may be pulling some more paper out of this. Put the tag aside so I don't ruin it with water. Okay, so this is just one of those composition books that you can get at the Dollar Tree. At the Dollar Tree, obviously, they're $1, which is too much because you can get these at Walmart for like 88 cents. But you can usually find them on sale for 50 cents either at Walmart. Family Dollar has them right now for 50 cents. So look around. You don't need to pay $1 for them. You can get them cheaper. So I think on my cover I want to use this corner. So I'm going to lay this on here. Okay, I don't need to put it all the way to the end because I am going to wrap a piece of paper around for the binding right here. So I only need to go up to that binding. So I measure this way. I put my paper on and I mark it. I'm going to mark it well because you've seen how I can't see my marks once I pull the paper off. So I'm actually going to use my jelly roll pen to mark this because I can see the white better. Now this doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to ink. We're going to put a binding paper. You want it close, but don't fret if it's not 100. If I would quit moving it, it would be best. Okay. Oh Lordy. Okay, let's try. It's because the composition book is thick. So, right there is where I want to cut. Could use my scissors, but I'm going to use my cutter. So we're going to put this in here. cover. And I cut too short. How did I do that? Gosh darn. Okay, well that happens. Probably only have one more of those papers. Nope, I do have two. So you must get 4 of each. Good thing, right? Ugh. Okay, well, let's try again. Oh, I know what I did. Oh, that was a silly mistake. I didn't go all the way to the edge. I went over here. See how it's got this curve here? I marked it to there. I didn't go over here. Crazy. Things like that happen, so I'm going to mark it here. Okay, I'm just going to double check myself. So I'm here, right? I got my mark here, and I got my mark here. Okay, we should be better now. Oh, but wait, that's not going to work. Never mind. You guys are probably thinking, what are you doing, you crazy person? Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm going to mark it here. Wait. Let me just double check this. Okay, that one was right. It was the one at the top. I don't know what I did. This is seriously the hardest part for me. I don't know why. It always has been. Probably always will be. I don't know what my problem is. Just give it a crease right there.
You're super silly.
It could have nothing to do with lack of ability to concentrate. Here, let me go out a little. Here. My tripod is about ready to dump on me, so if the phone or if the camera comes crashing down, it's because it's top heavy. Okay, so now I have 2 marks here. Which one do I want? Ay caramba. This one. Over here, I want all my creases. Okay, fingers are crossed, toes are crossed. Yay! It's a beautiful thing. Okay, love this paper. I have a white mark there, but I'll put something on the front to cover that. So usually I like the back to match the front, just a personal preference. This time we're going to go up to that binding. And we're going to mark it here.
Down, sis.
Mark it here. So some of you responded on my last video when I asked about full-length videos versus, or real-time videos versus sped up. I don't like to do voiceovers because honestly, the software, the editing program that I use to edit my videos, it's a free program. It's called Movie Maker, and it's free. And when you do voiceovers, the voiceover doesn't match up with the video. Like, I can do the voiceover, and while I'm doing the voiceover, it matches perfectly. Like, I can talk and explain what I'm doing as I'm playing the video to do the voiceover, but then when I upload it to YouTube, the voice doesn't match up with what I'm doing on the screen. So I've only done that one time, and it didn't mesh. Like, there's a delay, so I can be, when I'm talking in the voiceover, it doesn't match up with what's going on in the screen. There's a delay in it. So I don't do it because the software, it just isn't good enough to do that. So I don't do voiceovers because of my software. Editing software, once you learn it, it's not hard, but it's learning the software that takes time, and it is frustrating as heck. It really is frustrating to learn software, editing software. Really, for me, any software. Like, once I learn it, I understand it, I get it, but it's just that learning part that's really hard for me. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but it's the learning process of it. It's seriously, you want to pull your hair out. And if I could lock myself in a room by myself for a couple of days, I could learn it, but it's the interruptions of life that make it even more frustrating because you just want to be left alone. And that's not possible. Life doesn't work that way. So the thought of having to learn another editing program scares the bejesus out of me. There are a couple other ones out there, and there's some cheap ones out there too. But for the most part, Movie Maker is really simple. I mean, you can't do anything real fancy with it, but for the most part, it's a very simple program. Making videos is a very timely process. It's not easy. You have to film the video. I don't know if you guys want to know this, but it's something to talk about. It's interesting. You have to film the video, then you have to download the files, which takes time. You have to download it from the camera into your computer, which takes time because the files are long. Like, once I film all of this video, there's going to be a few files, like up to 6 files. Because obviously I'm not going to sit here for the 3 hours that it's going to take me to make this. So it's going to be a back and forth thing. There's going to be, you know, a few files. So I have to load those onto my computer, which takes a while. I can do other things while it's loading. And that's not always a smooth process. Sometimes the file gets lost, the file gets corrupted. There's things that can happen to the file, which is so frustrating when that happens. And so that takes a while. And then you have to load those files into your program, which takes a while. Obviously, the bigger the files, the longer it takes. So then you have to edit it. Obviously, you don't put everything in there. You have to go through and edit it down, which is difficult because you have to edit down, you know, sometimes 3 hours to an hour. If you add music, that takes time. If you add captions, that takes time. Pictures, you have to take the pictures and then download the pictures to your computer and then add them to the video. That takes time. And then you have to save that. Once you edit the video, you have to save the video to your computer. And then you have to upload it to YouTube, and that takes time. So it is a process. It's definitely not a snap of the finger. You definitely have to love what you're doing, because there is a lot to it. And then when you're doing it daily, so when I daily vlogged my family, and you're just doing daily vlog of your life, to have a camera out when you're eating, when you're cooking dinner, when you get up in the morning, oh, that was daunting. That, I didn't enjoy that. I did it for a while, but then it was like, oh, I have to have where's the camera? I need the camera. That got to be too much. And then you have a bunch of little clips throughout the day. And no, you know, I did it, I forget how long I did it for. It was over 100 days. And then I was done. Said no more. Because then you have to download all that footage, and then you know, have to decide what you're going to put in. And since it's your everyday life, there's a lot that you have to cut out. You know, like if your kids are not fully clothed, or you have to, you know, pick and choose what parts of your life or what was said, that type of thing. You have to pick and choose what you want to put in their names, certain names. Some people don't want their faces in. You know, there's a lot and lot of editing and a lot of checking. You have to really be careful. You know, and then when you watch it back, there were a couple times where I uploaded things and I thought, ooh, I shouldn't have put that in there. I had to pull the video down really quick, go back in, re-edit it. So yeah, that was too much. Too much. Okay, so I'm just getting this down here, and I'm using my old driver's license to just push that glue. One thing, I don't want a bunch of lumps in it, and another thing, I want it to distribute back behind the paper. You want to be somewhat careful with this because you can rip your paper. So see how I hold it kind of like a shovel? So that it just like glides on there. And see how it pushes that glue through. And then after you do that, then if you've got paper hanging, you can cut that off. You can also use your blade, your X-Acto knife for this. These scissors are good, so. And they weren't the most expensive ones. When I decided to get some fussy cutting scissors, some paper scissors, I believe I got these at Michael's. I looked at the expensive ones that they had in the store, and then I saw these ones, and I thought, I'm going to get the cheaper ones, and I really like them. They're made by the Paper Studio. This is what they look like. And I like them. They have a really, really sharp tip. I've cut myself with these before. And let's, whoops, just hit my tripod. I should be getting my new clamp on tripod, so I'll get it off my desk and clamp it up onto my shelf. So it won't be on my desk anymore. So there's my cover. Now if you want to make this more of a mixed media and make your own paper for this, that would be really good. But I really have all of these paper packs, and I really want to use the paper, and plus I really wanted, I smell like a chemical. I don't know where that's coming from. I really want to use some of my papers. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. And I've got to get this in the mail tomorrow. I've got to get this stuff in the mail to this person tomorrow because I have a deadline of the 26th. Which I'll be fine because today's the 19th. Tonight's a full moon. Today's the 19th. So I have a week, but I wanted to get it early. So I need to package it. I want to get it packaged. I want to mail it tomorrow. So this is the last thing that I'm putting in the envelope. Okay, so got that part. And I am going to put a closure, some kind of a closure on here. So I'm going to think about that next. Okay, I figured out what the chemical smell was. I took the fingernail polish and all the paint off of my fingernails, and I threw the cotton ball in my trash can, so that's what I was smelling. I know, I'm a genius. Okay, so for my closure, I'm going to use, this is made by X-Acto. And you can get these on Amazon. They still make these. I got this years ago. But somebody was asking me where I got it, and I looked at one point, and they are still available. So if you want the link, just let me know in the comments, and I can definitely look it up for you again. So for my closure, I'm going to use the medium tag. And I'm just going to trace it. Oops, wrong side. Yeah, if you can't find it, let me know. You get I think there's 4 different templates. They're really nice because they're really a hard plastic, so use my other scissors. I did make another cover another composition book like this, but I'm pretty sure it was a sped up video. It had a gorgeous girl on it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember what I did now. So if you're wondering what this was, that's what it was. It was a post office envelope. Okay, so I want to make this before I cover the inside pocket because I want this to be underneath the paper. So if you are going to put a closure on it, make sure that you think about that before you actually put your closure on it. Okay, so this is going to go on the back cover, and then it'll go like this, and then this will come on the front, and then it'll wrap around like this. Now you could do magnets like this, but let me tell you, if the person does any more than write in this book, like if they add pictures or, you know, they use it more for a journal type thing and add things to the inside, or even if you were to add pockets to this, as this grows, those magnets aren't gonna connect, because unless you use some really hefty ones. Believe me, I know, because I've done this and I've put the magnets back behind the paper. I've even done double magnets on it, and then when I was finished with the book, it wouldn't clasp, and I ended up doing strings anyway, so I'm not even going to attempt that this time. I'm just going to add the strings. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. That's the closure it's going to have. So I'm good with that. So I like that position and everything. So I'm not gonna measure, but that's where I want it. So I'm gonna take my pencil. I'm gonna just draw my placement marks for this. Okay, so you can see them right here, and actually, marker. Just put those there so I know where I want it. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is to cover our little tag. So I'm going to use a coordinating paper, I think.
Grandma, I saw the butterfly.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to use this for my inside covers. I think.
I like the butterflies.
Okay. I'm changing my mind. Surprise. So let's cut this out. I don't want to go all the way up to that binding because it will buckle. So I'm going to get it to my edges. Just like that. That will save me from having to cut. If you take the time to do that, then you'll have less cutting. Okay. So I'm going to cut that first. thing with these papers is they're not always cut straight, so, or the book isn't always 100% straight either. So you don't want to go all the way up to that binding, because see where that crease is right there? Your paper's going to buckle on that. I might be able to get both of these marked actually. And if you have to trim it, which most always you're going to have to. So that's our front cover. Let's go back to our back cover. Here's my tag. That piece isn't big enough. Which I mean, I don't have to cover it past this part, so I'm not worried about it, so. Can't wait to get that tripod off of my desk. I just want to make sure I have enough to fold it over. Okay. Now this again is that shiny, so I am going to give it a sand.
No, how do you do that?
Okay, I just did it off camera because I didn't want to get sand, but see, I just took the shiny off of that. I'm going to line it up to this edge over here.
Your computer's kind of hot.
this over. I like to fold these because then you can see more where you need to cut. Take my ink pad and ink this. Not doing it heavy, just get those edges a bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it aside, but that's what we got so far. Okay, so while that ink is drying, let's work on our front piece. I'm going to put my glue on the book itself. Now if you want to use your sticky tape, you can. I have a runner that I just haven't gotten used to, and I just prefer wet glue. I just always have. I like having the freedom of moving things around if I don't get it positioned correctly. I like having that ability of moving things. And then when you press it down with a card like that, you can distribute the glue and you don't get all of the lumps in your paper. No, put it back. this is gonna go there. So we do want to round this out right here. So to do that, I'm gonna take my ruler. I have a ruler somewhere. Take it. I don't know, that seems to have disappeared as well now. It's on my desk somewhere. So this is how I'm gonna round this. This text right here, since I wrapped it, is gonna be upside down. So I wanna make sure that this is right side up because it's gonna be on the outside. This is gonna be on the cover. So I'm gonna round it this way. So I'm just gonna take my ruler and kind of work the paper right here. I don't want to get too hard, and it is going to wrinkle a bit. Okay, or you can do it on the edge of your desk. Just to kind of get that to round. Make sure your paper's going the right way. So you want this to round over. Okay. So that's where we want. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on that cover. I'm only going up to where that starts to curve there.
What are you doing, sis?
Okay, I'm going to dip my paper down. Line it up. See how I can still move this around a bit to get it where I want it to go. Now if I was using sticky tape, I wouldn't be able to do that. So wet glue gives me the freedom. You do want to be careful when you go up against your closure, that tag, because you can rip your paper if you press too hard. You want to press on it, and you want to get on there good. You just want to be a little bit more gentle when you're going over the top like that. You do want to make sure you give it a good press up to the seam of it. Just be more gentle, and you are going to be able to see it through there, but that's okay. You want to get over a good press because you don't want that to lift later. So get that glue distributed, get it out to the edges really well.
I love you, Grandma.
I love you too. Clean up any glue that's squirted out. I just fill around to see if there's any globs of glue that I need to re-smooth. All feels pretty good. And I don't overdo the glue. I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make, is they put too much glue on it. And you really don't have to overdo it. You don't want to saturate your paper.
Yeah, if you do.
Because then that's when your paper starts to rip and you start to have problems. Just put enough on there. And this is the glue I use. I really like the Elmer's Craft Bond. I don't use anything but that. It's cheaper than the Aleene's, and I think you get better results with it.
And it's really sticky.
So see, that's what our book is looking like so far.
Now let's start with the chink.
So see, it's underneath the cover, so you can't see that. It's underneath here. It's not going to come out. It's sturdy. It's in there. You do get the rippling in the paper there. But that's to be expected when your book closes. That's what it's going to look like. So then I'll put an eyelet here. And then we'll add a string, and the string will wrap around. Now, like I said, I could have done the magnets. I could have hid it back behind here and put one back behind this paper on the cover, and then it would have closed. But like I said, I don't find that, because I don't have strong enough magnets. You might, and I have some pretty strong magnets. But my magnets would hold this, but as people start to put things in here, and as this gets bigger and bigger, my magnet just wouldn't hold it. So, and I did double magnets in it. So that's just something to think about. And plus I like the way the string looks. I just think it looks good. Okay, so that's where we're at now. So now I think I want to add some pockets on the inside covers. Sorry guys, I forgot to go back out. That's one thing about zooming, is I forget to go back out. So I was just cutting this triangle for this pocket. Now I'm just using my fine liner glue. Put a bead of glue on the edge here. That side.
Your wing toffee is super tired and kind of a little annoying.
Okay, so we've got that one. Just trimming my corner. Got a nice pocket there. always get glue places. That's the one thing about wet glue that drives me nuts. It's my inability to keep it off of everything. And so this one, I don't think I want to do a diagonal pocket. Or do I? Yeah, maybe I will. I like using my white pen because I can see the lines really well. So I'm not talking so much, I'm trying to concentrate here. So from here, to there. Here. To there.
Well, it says told you, but I'm gonna get my shoes. Are you gonna drive? No.
Okay, so I'll put my glue. There.
Wait for me. I should go and pay outside.
To there.
No. Okay. Cut this little guy off. So we have that pocket. We have this pocket. You could do some things to reinforce these right here. So I was just kind of looking to see what I had, and I have this blue rickrack. That I think would be really cute. So I think I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun.
could also use Fabri-Tac, but I don't have any Fabri-Tac. So I'm just going to use hot glue.
And be careful for you not burn yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's going to haunt. Because I know, because I burned myself.
You burned yourself with hot glue?
Yep.
When did you use hot glue?
I touch it and this hot burns.
When did you touch it?
When this pug.
And then I have to decide what I want to do for this. I could leave it. It looks kind of okay just leaving it, but when did I just leave something? Never. So one thing about these is getting this little thing back in there sometimes, especially if you've left it off for a while. It kind of dries, so you gotta be a bit forceful to get it back down in there. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Do we want to do something colorful?
Yeah, like pink, pink, pink.
No, that doesn't look good.
Maybe I can't do the same color.
That doesn't look good.
Do you want me to look for something?
That would look nice. Isn't that? Let's do that.
No, you sound
See,
like a little baby.
You can make it thicker, which I usually like to do. So let's get our length right first. I don't sound like a little baby.
Oh my god, I need a phone in my foot.
Let's cut this. Again, I'm going to roll this on the corner of my desk to get.
Be careful for you not get put with me. Oh, phone. Check out. And I'm going to show you my book and Gamma channel. Wait, Gamma.
Just gonna try to get the middle here. Which that seems pretty good right there. Okay, and I'm gonna mark it. Glue all over this.
And be careful for you not put everything. Wait, come on. There you go.
It's most important to get it on the spine and the edges. And then just really thin everywhere. I touch my glue to the paper just to get it thin. Don't want thick globs all over it. Okay, then I'm gonna get it lined up. See how you can see if it's even just by kind of eyeballing that. And then if it's not, you have some movement in your paper. Push it down from the spine. Then you're going to push everything towards the edge here. Remember, make a shovel out of your card.
Yeah.
But you don't want to rip it. Be forceful, but don't rip your paper.
Yeah, that was never said.
And see how you get that nice smooth. Flip it over and do the other side.
I didn't notice that.
With just doing a really thin layer of glue, I didn't get any glue squirting out of there. I don't have any air bubbles in it whatsoever. It's stuck down nicely. So this side is perfectly even, and I do have a little extra up at the top here. Don't play with that. That's got a blade in it. I don't want you to cut yourself. So I'm just going to trim this.
Maybe you move this one to the side camera.
It's kind of a weird angle, but you can do it.
What? Yeah. Cats.
Just want to get that so that, you know, the person doesn't catch it on stuff and rip their paper. So you can also take an emery board and file that too, if you think that you didn't get it cut close enough. Okay, so that's what we look like so far. I know my heat gun is heated up because it starts to leak. Okay, so we're going to take these pieces. And at some point, I really need, this is that one I got at Tuesday mornings and it leaks all over. I think the AdTech hot glue guns just leak. And I need to get one of those fine tip hot glue guns. But I'm just going to put a little bit at a time.
And be careful if you're not blowing this off because that one already hurts.
See, it's like dry. It dries so quickly.
Yeah, and the sticky.
So I'm just gonna, instead of squirting more, I'm just gonna reheat that with the tip of the hot glue gun. I'm really not a fan of hot glue, but sometimes it's necessary.
Be careful if you not get on the edge. Wait, Emma.
Right, Brooke. Let me get a piece of something. So I don't stick my page together.
Cookie coming up next.
I'm just going to take my time.
And don't push. Think
guys can control the speed of the video too. If you want to speed up the video, you can. And then you can hear me talk like a mouse. That's always an option too for those of you that don't want to watch this in real time. You can speed up the video. Because I'm sure to some of you this is like watching paint dry. Glue strings all over. Oh, the joy of hot glue. I'm just going to cut my extra off there. And there. Other piece.
Disney Channel.
So nothing much has been going on in my life. Nice and quiet and peaceful. My brother's coming into town. My sister-in-law. I'm excited to see them. My anniversary is on the 26th. My anniversary is on the 26th and they come into town on the 26th. I'll put a strip. Now my instinct is that I want to do mixed media all over the cover of this, but I'm going to reframe. I'm not going to put any molding paste on this. I'm not going to do anything like this because I want her to be able to use this if she chooses to, like on a daily basis. Like I want her to be able to like throw this in a bag if she chooses to do that. Because I've had some notebooks and they're beautiful that have been mixed media, but the thing is you have to be really careful with those kind of notebooks because there's so much going on that you can't just like stick them in a bag or a purse because you don't want to ruin the covers. They're not durable. Like they're pretty. You can stick them on a shelf, but you can't really like throw them in a bag and put them on, you know, take them with you. because things will start to fall off of them and they're just not durable. They're pretty, and that's okay because there's a place for those too. But I want this person to really be able to like use this as a notebook, you know, have it with them if they so choose to. If they still like it enough to put it on, or even, I'm not going to write in this or anything, so if they want to re-gift this to somebody, that's, you know, something that they'll be able to do. Or if they want to add, if they want to mix media this themselves, add more to it, they can. They can use this as a base. But I'm not going to make it like that. Because sometimes we just have to have those usable items. That are multifunctional items, everyday use. You know, something that's not a showpiece. Sometimes those junk journals and whatnot, they're just not practical. This isn't going to fall apart. This is practical. You know, it's prettier than just having a composition book. Pockets. I like it. Sometimes simple is just better. Okay, so I'm going to put my hole in here. I'll be back. Oh. Okay, so I got this stuff to add my string, and I kind of looked at my strings. I kind of thought I would use this blue baker's twine. Can you guys see that? But it's kind of, I just don't like it with it. And my other baker, I thought about maybe the black and white. And I just don't really like that either. And then I thought maybe the green and white. But it's just a different color of green. So after, you know, and then I could also use just the regular jute twine, which I think that that looks better than all of the ones that are in my Pringles can. But then I pulled this one out, and I think that that actually looks the best. So I'm going to go with this. Now this is my eyelet punch thing. And it's not the greatest. I got this at Arbor Freight, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm going to use. And I think I'm going to use just a gold eyelet. This all came as a kit from Arbor Freight, and it was like cheap. I think like $6 or something. And it likes to challenge me. So let me think about this. It's been a while since I've done this. So I need the good part to be there. Okay, so whoops. I'm gonna put it, need to be in the center. So right about there. And this is the part that gets hard with this thing, is it doesn't clamp down on it. It doesn't, it like does one side and then it doesn't do the other side. I don't know why. So if I flip it over, it pushes it down a little bit more. It's like it does it if you move it around. I don't know why. There. I mean, it does okay. It's not the prettiest. It looks fine on this side, but it's the other side that it just doesn't look real pretty. So see, now we have our little hole. And so then for our string, I'm gonna cut off a pretty good size. Gonna find the middle. Gonna put it through the front here. I'm gonna go through the front, and I'm gonna put my ends through and pull, just like that. Now this is like a jute, so it doesn't stay real tight. So what you can do to get that tight so that it stays, so I'm going to loosen this back up. I'm going to take one of my strings and go back through the loop. And just pull it. Pull them all tight again. You got to kind of pull it on there like that, so that it's kind of holding that like that. Okay. Now, if you want to put some charms or something on there, you can. You can either tie another piece of string. I don't really have anything gold. I don't think. Everything that I have is silver. But if you wanted to put some, and that's fine. I mean, these days you can mix silver and gold. Like if I wanted to put a little cross on there, I could put a jump ring on here. A little piece of chain. I just don't have a whole lot of findings like that. Let's see. I should have probably put it on there before I just tied my loop. Let me see if I can undo this. Okay, so I still have my loop there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottom string, I'm going to put my charm onto it. Okay, now I'm going to feed my strings back through there, just kind of hold on to everything. Take my top string, feed it through my loop up here. You guys are probably, you probably can't really see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is taking my top string now, and I'm going to feed it through that loop. Okay, so that it has something to hold onto so it doesn't come undone. I'm going to tighten it. Okay, so my charm is holding on there. Just going to give it a pull. Pull everything tight, and now I'm just going to do a tie. Keep everything together. Okay, so I have a little charm there. I don't want to put a real big dangly because, like I said, I want this to be used and I don't want it to be getting caught on stuff, so I don't want to be adding a bunch of beads and stuff to it. Now if you're afraid that that is going to come undone, then just put a dab of glue on it. Just get your glue. Stick it all up in there. Be generous. Now obviously we're going to need that to dry before we close it so we don't get glue all over the paper. So I will be back as soon as that's dry. Okay, so I think I'm done. So the way that this works is you keep one of your strings, I usually do the bottom string, hold on to my flap, take my top string, and this is going to wrap around. And I probably should have made my strings bigger, but that's okay. You make them bigger to wrap around more than once. You just tie a bow at this point. Okay, and then I'm going to even up my and that's how it closes. Very simple. All right. So now my tag should match pretty well with my journal. So it's a matching set. All right. I might go back through and ink these edges. Let's just do that really quick. I already inked that closure. This just kind of finishes everything off. You don't have to get really crazy with it. You don't have to use black, you could use a color. just kind of hides where maybe your paper didn't come to the edges all the way. Kind of just blends everything back together. I am going to put a little bit of glue down in here. You guys see that? Okay, the front side's good, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take a couple binder clips. Put those there. Just so that it adds a little pressure until that glue dries. Alright, so I'm done. I will put some detailed pictures at the end of the video, and I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and God bless. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.